The Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network and Flo College is proud to present Old Dominion Athletic Conference Volleyball from inside Turner Gymnasium on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Hello again, volleyball lovers. My name is Kyle Haney. So excited to be hanging out with you on a Wednesday, March the 4th. And we've got an exciting volleyball matchup in here, kind of a rivalry matchup. You know, we're still in the early days of ODAC volleyball, but I think this falls under rivalry time, and we'll get the national anthem and starting lineups coming up here in just a second. We have the Roanoke College Maroons in to take on the Lynchburg Hornets. Roanoke 11-4, Lynchburg 4-7. These teams met a couple times last year. Roanoke took both victories. Roanoke currently second in the ODAC standings. Lynchburg hanging around 4th and 5th. It is anthem time, so we'll step aside here for just a moment and give this a listen. All right, we'll check back in here for our Flo College broadcast. Not a big crowd in the gym tonight. It is spring break for the University of Lynchburg, so hopefully we got a bunch of students watching at home, and hopefully we've got a bunch of fans just watching everywhere. We'll welcome the Roanoke College fans in. They are winners of 7 of their last 8. Roanoke is 5-1 in ODAC play. The only blemish there was a 3-set sweep loss to Randolph-Macon. Yellow Jackets currently sit at the top of the table. They are undefeated at 5-0 in ODAC play, 15-3 overall. But this is a very good Roanoke squad coached by Mark Rohrbach in his 3rd season. 49 wins so far, so we could get to a mini milestone tonight with victory number 50 potentially. For Lynchburg, 4-7. They've lost 2 out of their last 3. Last win, you got to go back to February 25th in this gym against Randolph. And it's been an up and down season for Josh Knapp in his first year. He knew there would be some growing pains going in. You can check out a wonderful interview that we did with him for our Lynchburg Hornets break segment. That's on our YouTube page right now if you want to check it out. We filmed that over at JoJo's Pizza across the street. But Joshua Knapp, I think, had realistic expectations. Yes, as a first-year head coach, there's a dream in the back of your mind, hey, maybe we'll be able to get this thing going and just, you know, win 20 games or go undefeated the first year. But Joshua Knapp is a realist. He knew, based on the competition, based on the roster that he had, that, you know, wins would be hard to come by, but certainly not impossible for Lynchburg. And they have shown some great signs. For Lynchburg offensively, it's really been a 3-headed monster for most of the year, and that's kind of similar to Roanoke. For Lynchburg, Joshua Davis, he's transferred in. It's 2.73 kills per set for Davis. You've got Nick Redding, last year's ODAC Rookie of the Year, 2.10 kills per set. And Bryce Jackson, 2.24 terminations per set, and he is leading the conference in attack percentage right now. Go over to the Roanoke side. Their big 3 are Jackson Rutkowski, 3.19 terminations per set. Pierce Falcone has 2.28 kills per set, and Michael Cummings, 2.87 terminations per set. Cummings, by the way, is the first in school history to go over 800 kills. He is the program leader in that category. He was a first-team All-ODAC selection last season with 288 put-downs, and he looks to be a first-teamer again this year. So both teams have 3 bona fide scoring options, and the options continue beyond that, of course, but certainly those 3 players for each squad should be noted and will be taken account of, especially in the scouting reports from their opponents. We had a little backflip in the Roanoke huddle there. That player had their warm-up still on. I couldn't see who that was, but that was pretty cool. Both teams showing some excitement and some hype here in front of a quieter gym, but they're bringing their own energy. That's what you have to do a lot of times. Coaches will tell you, you can't really rely on the fans to bring you the energy. You got to bring it yourself. And all these teams will be used to playing under different circumstances. You play your travel ball, and you got to get up at 8 a.m. for a game on a Saturday when there's nobody but maybe your parents in the gym. So nothing uncommon here as far as bringing your own vibes and trying to get things going on a higher frequency. Lynchburg on the right side of your screen in the home whites. The libero will be Braden Berardo in the red and black jersey. Lynchburg's got on the red shorts today. For Roanoke, it's kind of a maroon and black top there with black shorts. Their libero is number 2, C.J. Kingston. 54 sets total for Roanoke this season. Kingston has played the most at 49. Cade Kinney right behind him at 48 sets. And Roanoke's had some blowouts, so Mark Rohrbach has had the advantage of sitting the starters at times. And much like all college athletic teams, Roanoke has had to deal with an injury here or there as well. Maroons will serve first, looking for win number 12 of the season. They beat Lynchburg twice. Those were both 4-setters last year. These teams will meet again later on in the season. Ball's in the air. Let's play some college volleyball. How about first swing going to Joshua Davis? And he gets it off the wrist and down the net for the first point of the ball game. Lynchburg with an early lead, 1-0. A small production team up here with Micah Adams, Micah Madness staying dangerous. And we got Big D on the camera helping us out over spring break. A lot of fun and a lot of athletics on campus over the break as well. We've been busy on the broadcast side. There's number 23, Michael Cummins, missed down the line. And the Lynchburg lead goes to 2-0. For Lynchburg as a team, their attack percentage is 27%, .270. Roanoke a chance to attack and serve, receive. Slight miscommunication will get the Maroons their first point of the ball game. Roanoke's attack percentage is at .270. Lynchburg down at .185. Nice serve there from Michael Cummings. That was sharp and had great top spin on it. There's a good one to get down for Lynchburg. Nick Redding with his first termination of the evening. Already mentioned Nick Redding, ODAC Rookie of the Year last season. Just an outstanding freshman campaign. Joshua Davis to serve for Lynchburg. Both teams feature really good setters. You saw a perfect delivery by number 4, Johnny Moran there. Moran comes in at 5.13 assists per set. He leads the team in overall assists. Leo Hauser has 183. He's second on the list. And Tegan Cole over 100 as well for Roanoke. 1-point ball game. Lynchburg swinging from off the court. And that one just missed from Nick Redding. Roanoke bench, half standing, half seated. Actually, probably more like 2/3 standing and maybe 1/3 seated if we want to get specific about it. Here's our first tie of set number 1. A pass that was tight to the net. Got illegal ball handling there. That'll give Roanoke their first lead of the ball game. So 1 tie, 1 early lead change here. We are in set 1. Best 3 out of 5. If we get to the 5th and decisive set, we play to 15. All the other sets to 25. Got to win by 2. Maroons set the middle, and that was fruitful. Dominic Wheaton, number 12, really rising high to punish that one. Both teams run their offenses pin hitters are really good, but they make a point to get the middles involved. Bryce Jackson, again, ODAC leader in attack percentage. 2.25 kills per game, per set rather. For Lynchburg, he is definitely a feature in the offense. And for Roanoke, their middles can be very, very destructive as well. Roanoke with a big roster, and they're not afraid to go really, really deep and use a bunch of players as well. Sam Pennington to serve for Lynchburg. Pennington, pretty good spot on the float. And there's a nice take on this near right side by number 18, Pierre Falcone. Falcone is senior right side from Moseley, Virginia, L.C. Byrd High School. A lot of Virginia represented on this Roanoke roster, and then they've got a couple players from Italy on the roster. South Carolina, Maryland, Fort Worth, Texas, the list goes on and on. Lynchburg's got great geography on their roster. We can run down some of that as we've got the Lynchburg women's coach, Kevin Cardoza, checking in, saying hi. He is locked on to the stream, and we're glad to have you as well. On this first Wednesday in March, 6-2 Maroons, actually the biggest lead of the set so far. Roanoke on the rebuild, got a sharp cut by number 24, Cade Kinney. Cade Kinney's over 2 kills per set as well. Mentioned that big 3 for Roanoke, but Cade Kinney now looks like 97 kills on the season. He's approaching the century mark. There's a solid stuff by Dominic Wheaton. Wheaton's come to play early, another senior, Glen Allen, Virginia. Great block presentation, press to the net. Had the timing there, very nice. Tegan Cole serving for the Maroons. We look to get some separation. Over dig, let's see if Lynchburg can take advantage. Berardo, the libero, turns in to the second setter there. Not a bad one. Hornets take 2. Best rally of the set is right here. And that one goes wide and long for a Lynchburg point. Hornets needed that. Pulled back within 3. And good, I think, stick-to-itiveness, grit, toughness, tenacity. Some of those things in there. Ooh, off the rafter and down for a point. And we should mention, maybe for the fans that haven't been inside Turner, it's one of the lower ceilings that the guys will play on. Maybe not the lowest, but it's one of the lower ones that Lynchburg and Roanoke volleyball teams will play on this season. There's a fantastic serve from Nick Redding. And Lynchburg can't get anything out of it, though. Really spoiled what was an outstanding delivery there from Redding. But back to the ceiling, you obviously a lot of it is random, but you need to have an understanding as a visitor coming in that it will play a bit more of a role than perhaps you're used to. And on those high digs, here's a serve rather that was too strong. But the ceiling on those digs and on your passing game, you got to be prepared to adjust when you see that the ball is getting close. Teams will exchange serving errors. Lynchburg serving could use some improvement. 51 aces coming in to 165 errors. Roanoke's at 84 aces to 171 errors. And here we go, there's another one. There's a lot to be said for serving tough, though, especially when you've got offenses that can be terminal, like these two teams, offenses that have multiple options that make it really hard to key on one or even two guys. So you do have to serve tough. Nice one there from Bryce Jackson, by the way. Block stunts that swipe, and Lynchburg will take advantage. Joshua Davis with a bomb. Lynchburg's back within 1. Hornets fell down 4. It's an 8-4 ball game. They got that point to make it 8-5, and we felt like that was a big point at the time. Looking back in hindsight, yeah, it probably was. Bryce Jackson went from the left side of the service line over to the right. Couldn't get that one over the mesh. Service error. By the way, Will Rady leads Lynchburg in serve aces, 13 on the season. Bryce Jackson has 11. Ace leader for Roanoke is Michael Cummins. He's a point-scoring machine, really gets him in a variety of ways, like most of those great point-scoring players do. Jackson Rutkowski, by the way, second in the conference in points. Rutkowski gets a lot of kills. He's got 9 aces on the year and 13 total blocks. 11-10, Lynchburg's back within 1 again. Softer serve that time, making sure he got it in, Will Rady, and then a point for Roanoke. Back to serving. Sometimes you say, well, let's just get it in and go to work with our blocking game, go to work in transition. That looks good sometimes, but again, these offenses can be so destructive. And speaking of which, Nick Redding hangs and fires. Lynchburg's back within 1. Put that on repeat. Seems like we've been saying that over and over and over again. Nick Redding, San Diego, California. Sensational sophomore now. He was a freshman phenom last year. Now he's a sensational sophomore, and Lynchburg will give one right back. Noke by 2. Number 13, Colin Mendoza to serve it for Roanoke. 6'2" senior. Roanoke does have that benefit. They have some experienced players. They have some players with lengthy resumes. They have been playing ODAC volleyball and Division III volleyball for a bit longer. This is the second year for the Lynchburg program. How about that? Lynchburg there needed it big time. Great involvement from Jordan Philomaui. I don't know that we'd call Philomaui's name just yet, but he's a good player. Jordan Philomaui, a Washington State guy, another sophomore. Ryan Turner was the head coach last year and really deserves a lot of credit, again, for the recruiting, getting so many of these players in from all over the country. Overdig dealt with properly there by number 1, Jackson Rutkowski. That was almost too easy for him. Roanoke by 2. Back and forth. Lead's been one or two for seemingly the last 10 minutes or so. We are in set 1, by the way. Tegan Cole to serve it. Lynchburg will get number 14, Braden Berardo, the libero, back in there. Libero competition was pretty stiff last year. Setter competition very stiff last year and this year as well. Lynchburg gets another one. And it's that man again, Nick Redding from San Diego, California. Hornets are looking for him early. No doubt about that. Joshua Davis has been heavily involved. Lynchburg, one more chance to tie. Might get it right here. High dig. Hornets made it work, and we are tied. Oh, yeah. Bryce Jackson thumping that one away. Will Rady with a fantastic delivery on the set. And we are tied 14-14. Second tie of set number 1. Lynchburg did lead early. It had been Roanoke by 1 or 2 for seemingly the entire evening. See if the Hornets can keep some momentum right through the block and down by number 1, Jackson Rutkowski. Rutkowski, 6'3", another senior from Maryland. Timeout on the floor. We'll pause for just a moment here and bring it back with some first set numbers and see where we go from here. Good ball game so far. Roanoke by 1 against Lynchburg inside Turner Gymnasium. Our first timeout of set number 1. Roanoke took the lead back 15-14. For Lynchburg, it's 9 terminations on 16 total attacks. 3 errors in there. Hornets are swinging it at .375. There is 1 ace. No block points yet for Lynchburg. I think blocking's been okay, though, for the Hornets. On the other side, Roanoke, 8 kills on 14 attacks, 1 error. Hitting percentage is .500. 2 total blocks for Roanoke. This one was long. Lynchburg was asking for a touch, but it builds that Roanoke lead back to 2. Scoring has been balanced for Roanoke. Rakowski and Falcone have 2 kills. For Lynchburg, what a dig. What a dig. That'll stop you in your tracks right there. Roanoke can't get it over. Spoiled what was an outstanding effort by C.J. Kingston. Lynchburg offensively, Nick Redding pacing with 4 terminations. Philomaui has 2. Joshua Davis has 2. Bryce Jackson, 1 kill. Nick Redding's the leader in attempts with 7. I'd keep feeding him. And there's another ace for Lynchburg. Needed that. Hornets are right back in business here. Strong serve from Mason Kenna. Mason Kenna's a guy that we learned so much about last year. Less reps this season, but still very much a part of the program and a part of the success for Lynchburg. We're tied again, 16-16, third tie of the set. And we're not tied anymore. Roanoke goes to the middle and then mashed down from Dominic Wheaton. Wheaton's had a sneaky good game. We're back in Turner on Friday for a rare volleyball doubleheader against the same team. You get the situation where you play 2 games on the same day or night against different opponents all the time in volleyball. A little 3-team rodeo jamboree as another pounder from Joshua Davis. But Lynchburg missed a game up in Winchester against the Shenandoah Hornets, so they're going to do double situation on Friday. They'll play at 5 and then officially at 7, but probably just, 20 or 15 minutes after the first match ends. So somewhere between 6 and 10 sets on Friday night between Shenandoah and Lynchburg. Looking forward to it. There's another miscue from the Hornets that will allow Roanoke to take the lead back one more time. Roanoke is in action Saturday. They'll be at EMU taking on the Royals and also Marymount. Roanoke back at home 1 week from yesterday. That's March the 10th. They will host the Avert Cougars. Davis pushes that one over. Good blocking up front by the Hornets. Number 2, Jordan Philomaui timed it up. Solo stuff. Oh, they're going to give Roanoke a point there? No. Saw an indication from the referee. Referees listening in on the conversation with Mark Roback and the players there. I think it was Michael Cummins. It's a tie ball game again, though, folks. 5 ties in set number 1. What a game so far. Good block presentation. Really Joshua Davis, you could see his hands over the net, but just unable to keep it between the boundaries. And the Maroons, 1 step in front one more time. It's been the story of the night, and then the other story of the night continues with another tie. It's a lot of fun, though. For Roanoke, on the service department here, that is serving error number 3 for the Maroons. Pin swing from the far side, number 1, Jackson Rakowski. He hangs so well, great leaping ability. He's got the minor in-air adjustments, likes to go to the fastball. I know he's got some tips in there, he's got some shots he can go to, but boy, his heater is really as good as it gets. And speaking of heat, how about from the back row? Lynchburg will tie it one more time, 20 apiece. I've got that as tie number 7. Let's double check it with the live stats. And I always encourage fans to follow along at lynchburgsports.com. You can get all the numbers there individually for the season, and the career, and the game. Great way to take in sports in the modern era here. Chestnut, that's a ripper. No, that's Pierre Falcone, I beg your pardon. Number 18, Pierre Falcone, letting it fly. He is 6'7", by the way. Such an advantage to be 6'7" and be able to move like he does as well. It's not as though he's just a statue out there. He moves. Roanoke by 1. Roanoke still swinging it at 500, by the way. 12 terminations on 20 swings. There was 2 errors in there. 12 minus 2 equals 10. 10 divided by 20, 500. Bang on 50% attacking. There's a nice one from Lynchburg. Bryce Jackson carving out some space in the deep right corner. Tie ball game again. We got to put that on tape. It's getting old saying that. But it's been that kind of a match. Biggest lead for Roanoke was 4. I think Lynchburg was up 2 at one point. That's it. It has been that tight. This team's played a couple 4-setters last year as Roanoke keeps swinging with the axe there. Finally, they chopped the tree down and go back up 1 again. You got to be careful if you're Lynchburg. Back and forth is great. You'll take it. But obviously, you'd like to have a run and try to get this first set and really get some momentum as the match goes on. Maroons going to get organized there. A little bit of a miss-hit from Chestnut. Take 2 for him. Blocked. Another chance coming for Roanoke. Great job on the rebuild. Cade Kinney ends up putting a punctuation mark on the end of the rally right there. Lynchburg was so good defensively. And now Joshua Knapp going to take another timeout. Hey, we'll stay here for this one as the finish line for set number 1 is in sight. Roanoke is 2 points away. Lynchburg will need to get busy, down 23-21. Tell you more about Joshua Knapp, first-year head coach for Lynchburg. He was coaching not even across town, just in town at Liberty University, coaching their men's club team. He was a former player there, very good player for Liberty University, and he kind of got thrown into that after he got done playing. He was hanging around as an assistant coach, and the previous coach stepped aside, and Joshua Knapp put his hand up and did a great job. He's got a fantastic mind, not just for volleyball, but just in general. Really, really sharp guy. And again, his athleticism, I think, gives him some cachet and some respect with the players. Not that you need to be a great player to be a great coach. I don't know that that's necessary. But I think when you don't know the guys, it can give you something immediately to connect with them. Let's put it that way, a connection rather than a sign of respect. Because, you know, in sports, there's plenty of cases where those great players did not make great coaches. But I think with a young guy like Joshua Knapp, he knows what it takes to be good at this level, at any level. And I think the players see that in him, and they're getting that from him. Jackson Rutkowski with a good serve. Rady tried for a little setter swipe there. Didn't work. Did this ball catch the line? It did not. Mason Kenna tried to just sneak one down the near line, just off court. Set point here for Roanoke. Let's see how long Lynchburg can stay alive. Down 3. Rutkowski to serve it. He's got 9 aces on the season. Went with a boomer there, handled by Berardo. Lynchburg will go back row again. Got a tip, landed in anyway. And the Hornets do stay alive, at least for the moment. Remember, got to win by 2. So Lynchburg, at minimum, will need 4 in a row. If you get 2 in a row and you tie at 24, then you have a little bit of breathing room. You could lose a point in there. Big time right there. Big time hammer from Dominic Wheaton. He rises so high. Fantastic set for him as well. And that will be the set. Roanoke 25, Lynchburg 22. We're back in a couple minutes. We'll run down the first set box score and get you ready for frame number 2. ODAC Volleyball on the campus of the University of Lynchburg. Thanks for watching on Flo College. Set two about to get underway inside Turner Gymnasium. It's Wayne Prophet Court inside Turner. My name is Kyle Haney, and we're so glad to be spending some time with you. For Roanoke in set one, the attack percentage stayed at 500, fans. We kept checking in on it, and it was 500 for most of the set. It stayed there. It's 15 terminations with 2 errors on 26 swings. Great numbers for Roanoke. Balance 2. Wheaton had 4 kills. Rutkowski 3. Cummins and Kinney had 2 apiece. 8 assists for Moran. Cole had 5. For Lynchburg, attack percentage, hitting percentage wasn't bad, 269. I think you'll take that more often than not if you're head coach Joshua Knapp. 13 terminations, 6 errors in there on 26 total swings. Lynchburg did have 2 aces and 1 block. Joshua Davis, 4 kills. Nick Redding led the way with 5. Bryce Jackson, 2. Jordan Philomaui had 2. So Jackson and Philomaui doing the work in the middle. Wonder if Lynchburg might try to go there a bit more. That could be an option potentially for the Hornets. We'll see. Lynchburg will serve first. This is Will Rady, the setter, to get it going in set number 2. Roanoke, a 3-point winner in set number 1. We had an over dig right there. Good job by Berardo. See if Lynchburg can survive and get something going. Berardo, platform, and Nick Redding was stuffed. That's a great way to start the set for Roanoke. You shut down the other team's key man. Very, very nice on this near left pin. Ringleader in that one was number 18, Pierre Falcone. 6'7" man flying again. There's a middle set for Lynchburg. Philomaui couldn't get it down. Hornets will get a nice block and a reach back to keep this one alive. Didn't have many long rallies in the first, and right down Main Street, Roanoke scores it with Rutkowski. Maroons picking up where they left off. I think officially it was 8 ties in set number 1, 8 ties. The 3-point lead that Roanoke ended the set with was actually the biggest of the set. This one wide right, and it's an early Roanoke run. Maroons went up 4 in set number 1 early, and then the fight back from Lynchburg basically made it a tug of war the rest of set 1 that Roanoke finally prevailed in. Good swing from Joshua Davis. Yeah, he's got a live right arm. That's a mean cut right there from Josh Davis. Impressive stuff. Comes into this with 2.73 kills per set. So he's closer to 3 kills per set than he is 2. I think you could see him get over 3 as the season goes on. Now, as the year goes on, it becomes harder and harder to move those numbers. It's just like a batting average in baseball. At the end of the year, if you go 5 for 5, you only move your batting average up like half a point, something like that. But we're still at the point in the year now. It is match number 12 for Lynchburg. Game 16 for Roanoke. Pinball ending up in row A. Nick Redding got a piece of it, but really wasn't in a position to keep that alive, and it's Roanoke by 4. Cummins with the high toss. Strong serve, but it hits the top of the tape. Should be error number 26 on the year for Michael Cummins. He is the team leader in service aces. Lynchburg will take over within 3. Here's Sam Pennington, rather. Myrtle Beach guy. I bet they're watching down there in Myrtle Beach, the Myrtle Beach area. I believe his family owns a restaurant down there. We got to figure out which one and take in some sunshine and some clean, fresh air and enjoy Myrtle Beach. It'll be a Roanoke point. Short trip for Sam Pennington at the service line, then he'll get subbed out. Jordan Philomaui out as well. Bryce Jackson in. Less subs in the men's game than you get in the women's game. And it's really, each coach obviously has a style here. As Berardo will just get a free ball over. Let's see if Roanoke can take advantage. Good show of sportsmanship there. Mason Kenna got a big piece of that swing, and then that one landed in maybe row B or C. 7-2 Roanoke. Less subs in the men's game, net slightly higher. Other than that, basically the same rules as the women's game. A few extra limitations on the libero in the men's game. The libero can serve in the women's game. The libero cannot serve in the men's game. And there's a few others there in there as well, and I'm always aware that a lot of the folks watching these broadcasts know the rules better than I do. So you might be thinking of one or two that I missed in there. But I think if you can get the basics of one or the other, then you can get the basics of both. And then you start learning the nuances, and that's when it gets really, really fun. The more you dig into these things. Big slash from Nick Redding. Roanoke is defending and blocking well. Scramble for it. Berardo and also Bryce Jackson were trying to get around Mason Kenna to lift that ball off the hardwood. They couldn't get there. It's Roanoke by 6. Biggest lead of the set, biggest lead of the match. This is set 2. Roanoke took set 1, 25-23. Bryce Jackson's going to run that one down. It tipped off the low ceiling. Looks like Joshua Knapp maybe thinking about a timeout to get his squad organized. That's exactly what it is. Roanoke 9, Lynchburg 2. We're back in a flash. Set 2 underway. Roanoke early control. A timeout from Joshua Knapp. We'll try to break some of this Maroon momentum, perhaps some tactical adjustments. As this second set goes on, let's talk a little bit more about these teams. Ace there, a little bit of miscommunication, I think, from Lynchburg. No, that ball's out. Wrong again, Mr. Broadcaster. That ball was out. It was awfully close, and so close that Roanoke captain Johnny Moran, the first-year setter from Pennsylvania, went over to the chair umpire and asked, hey, you sure that ball was out? Or were your lines people sure that ball was out? And the chair official agreed with the call, and it stayed the same. Lynchburg's going to give it right back quickly with a serve that is well long. Now let's talk in this second set some about where these teams have been and where they might be going. For Lynchburg, first year of the program last season, 9-15 last year. I think some real highlights. We already mentioned Ryan Turner, who was the first head coach and also an assistant coach for the women's team. A couple stints as an assistant, as Nick Redding will steal that spotlight away from Ryan Turner. But Lynchburg came out, won their first 2 games in program history last year, got some good wins, stayed competitive in some games as well. A couple 4-set losses to Roanoke last year. Some decent volleyball against some of the heavy hitters in the men's volleyball world. So Lynchburg, I think, put a really good foot forward last year. You get a coaching change, which has its own set of positives and negatives. Joshua Knapp, again, just an outstanding volleyball mind. I think the direction of this program is going to be really, really good. He's going to recruit maybe more of his style of players. Not that he doesn't like the style of players that are on the court right now, but as a head coach, I always like to go out and get some pieces maybe that you prefer. That one nearly hit Joshua Knapp. Lynchburg is within 4, 10-6. So I think the future is really, really strong for Lynchburg. And that's not necessarily leaving out this year. I'm not I'm not white flagging this year for Lynchburg, Coach Knapp, or any of the players. I think still some great things to come for Lynchburg. Some very winnable games this weekend. How about an outstanding serve here for the Lynchburg Hornets to get some traction and get back within 3. Now we got to call that a well-placed timeout from Coach Knapp. It's Mason Kenner right there. Just ace number 4 on the season. Boy, with this big ball, you wonder if he could maybe double that just tonight. High toss, a lot of spin. Yeah, that's a really good serve. That is wicked. Lynchburg's going to get to attack because of the tough serve. Kind of a whiff from Berardo. Mason Kenna will set it towards the net, and Roanoke with some good blocking there. I think the Hornets would like to have that one back after the destructive serve. But back to this season going forward for Lynchburg. They've got 2 against Shenandoah Friday, Avert and Regent Saturday. So they're going to play 4 games in about 24 hours. And there's reason to think they could win all 4 of those. Great tip there from Nick Redding. A little change up, taking some pace off. Very nice from Nick. There's reasons to think they could go 4-0 on Friday and Saturday. It won't be easy. Shenandoah will play hard. Avert and Regent, they've got a right to play hard. Lynchburg's going to go to Randolph-Macon next week, a week from today. And that's one that they'll be a true underdog. I mean, Randolph-Macon is undefeated in ODAC play right now for a reason. But I think Lynchburg, you never know. They can get hot. They can catch fire just like anybody else. So going forward, I think Lynchburg has a great chance to not just get in the ODAC tournament, top 6 make the ODAC tournament this year, by the way. Not just get in the tournament, but maybe win a tournament game, maybe turn some heads, maybe surprise some people. Might be surprising Roanoke just a bit here in set 2. Maroons still lead by 3. Will Rady back to serve. Rady wearing the long white sleeves under the jersey. I like it. It's a good look. It's not cold in the gym or anything, but I think it's a fantastic look. A little one-hand stab from Rady to keep that one alive. Roanoke's going to get a chance to get in system, and they took advantage. Jackson, Rutkowski again, Teagan, Cole with the perfect setup that time. Roanoke really does well with the 2 setters, mixing and matching. Here comes a new face for Roanoke in the ball game, number 17, Aiden Christian. Talk about talent, talk about resources. Aiden Christian, 6'7", freshman. They've got some size. That's a big-time strength for Roanoke. They have size. Joshua Davis came flying in and missed the touch. Now the Maroons starting to gather more momentum. For Roanoke, where they have been 22-12 last season, had a winning record on the road and in neutral site games. And this is Coach Mark Rohrbach's 3rd season. 49 wins. This would be win number 50 tonight. Nice save by Davis. See if that pays dividends. Yeah, it will. And that's why you make those hustle plays. That's why you do the gritty hard work and run that ball down. Even though the other team is going to have a great chance to run their offense, probably be in system, you save it anyway because you don't know what's going to happen. Fantastic effort from Davis. And a great serve, too. Mishit. Lynchburg might be able to take advantage of the rafters. Almost did. Just so unpredictable when it goes up there. You might as well be playing the lottery when it goes up there. Sometimes you hit, but so often you just got to try again the next night. Back to Roanoke here for a bit. They beat Lynchburg on March 8th in this gym. Oh, that's an absolute missile. Absolute heater. Full force right there, full send. Maroons also won in Roanoke on April the 12th. Nick Redding had 19 kills for Lynchburg in that second meeting. Roanoke was 16-13. So Mark Rohrbach has never had a losing record yet, anyway, for the Roanoke College Maroons. Formerly the girls coach at Glenver, 3-time state champion there, 06, 2021, and 2022. Good resume for Mark Rohrbach. He's got a great staff he's working with. connections in the area, but we've talked about the geography. I mean, he's gone all over, not just the U.S. He's gone to Italy, or these guys from Italy have found him, and they found Roanoke. Great setup. 17-11, Roanoke back up by 6 as we, there's a tough break for Lynchburg. Will Rady tried to adjust, but just could not slide the spatula under that serve that trickled over from number 13, Colin Mendoza. Another Virginia guy, Mendoza from Midlothian. The man from Midlothian trickling one across the twine. Lynchburg needed that. Redding missed. Just off target slightly as he tried to go down the line. So that's where Roanoke has been. We'll stay here during this timeout. 19-11, it's an 8-point Maroon advantage. That's where Roanoke has been, back-to-back winning campaigns, and they've got an 11-4 record right now. Roanoke's won 7 out of their last 8. Going forward this year, they've got a winnable game on the road Saturday against EMU. They'll also play Marymount. Back at home against Avert, they host Lynchburg on the final Saturday of March. So these two teams will play the first Wednesday and the final Saturday of the month. I don't know if Roanoke is completely locked into the ODAC tournament, but they're pretty much guaranteed to be in there, and they'll probably be that number 2 seed behind Randolph-Macon. So their goal going forward will be to potentially upset the Yellow Jackets. They played Macon at home on February 25th. That's their last loss. And all 3 sets were close. I mean, it's a sweep for Randolph-Macon. That can be very misleading, as you know, volleyball fans. Looking back at that game, Macon won by 5, 3, and 4. All those sets could have gone either way. And that's what's so fascinating about the format of best 3 out of 5. Not many sports really do you have that situation. I guess tennis would fall in there as well. But you know, you think about if that's a basketball game, Randolph-Macon wins it 75 to 63. Honestly, it feels closer than that. Maybe that's a poor analogy. Good pogo stick jumping there by Nick Redding. He just kept whacking away at it and finally got a point. But all 3 there coming down to the very end. So Roanoke will have reasons to take confidence from that, and they'll have reasons to believe they could beat Randolph-Macon in the ODAC tournament. Big bomb on the near side by Rutkowski. Boy, his outstanding night continues. And I think next season Roanoke is going to try to build on this. They will be losing some major talent. They are unlike Lynchburg. Lynchburg has so many sophomores because it's only the 2nd year of the program. Rutkowski's a senior for Roanoke. Kingston is a senior. Michael Cummins is a senior. Cummins, pardon me, is a senior. Good swing right there. Really textbook from Lynchburg. Mason Kenna a bit more involved today. He's earned back at the service line. We've seen him get an ace. We were really impressed with that form. Yeah, I mean, look at that serve. Nice to have him back there. Whoa, how about a diving one-hander from Mason Kenna? Now Redding rolls that over. Great diving effort from the libero, C.J. Kingston. Lynchburg will get a point. Too many touches for Roanoke. That's a point that Lynchburg needs. You got to win some of those. Maybe you don't win it with a kill. Maybe you don't win it with something pretty. But it starts with a tough serve. You make a great flying dig. Ken, I don't know if it was an intentional pace-off serve or perhaps a miss-hit. He did not get a handful there, and it goes into the net. Roanoke by 7, 21-14. So Mark Rohrbach will have some work to do to replace these seniors next year, but the bones of this Roanoke program are really good. I think they're going to be a force for a while. Over dig, handled by Davis. He's feeling good about that. Little sledgehammer back down to the turf. And now it's Bryce Jackson to serve. Let's see if Bryce Jackson can get hot back here. Certainly capable. Second on the team, coming in with 11 service aces. bullet there, fended off. Roanoke's passing's been really good. Serve, receive, really good. How about that? How about that? Just finding a crack. Really fantastic touch right there. Rakowski again. It's Dominic Wheaton to serve. Dominic Wheaton is 6'4". A lot of D3 teams, he might be the biggest guy, but when you got tall timber like Roanoke, he might be, you know, third or fourth tallest on court at any given time. Nick Redding, more firepower from Redding. Boy, his great night continues. I've got Redding for 9 terminations. Hitting percentage just over 100. He does have 6 errors in there. Rakowski had to kind of go over his shoulder and get that one. Nice rally developing here. Let's see where it ends. It ends with a Lynchburg block. Double team stuff. Nick Redding, Jordan Philomaui putting the top on there. Should be the second block point for the Hornets. They are within 5. Door not completely closed here on set 2. Roanoke took set 1. 3-point victory. That one got a piece of the block and then caromed out. Great adjustment by Michael Cummins. He got roofed last time. That time it looked like he definitely intentionally tooled it off Nick Redding's outside arm. 23-17 Roanoke. Balanced attack continues. That's 4 for Cummins. Rutkowski 6, Wheaton 4, Mendoza 3, Kenny 3, Falcone 6. I mean, they deal the cards. They divvied up out there. Let's give, again, the setters their full props. 13 assists for Johnny Moran, number 4 in red for Roanoke. Tegan Cole has 7 assists. Kingston, the libero, has 3. Now Roanoke's within 1 again. If you go back and watch the tape, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to look at the setters and say, no, he should have set somebody else right there. No, that wasn't the right set. I mean, these guys are absolutely distributing the ball. Perfect quarterback play, and there's a big block up front. Number 13, Colin Mendoza, will end it. Stronger set that time for Roanoke. They took control early and did not relent. 25-18, Lynchburg down 2 sets to none. Let's see if they can avoid the sweep. We're back in just a second here. It's the Lynchburg Hornets Sports Network and Flo College. So much fun watching some volleyball here on a Wednesday night. Welcome back inside Turner Gymnasium. My name is Kyle Haney. Roanoke wins set 2, 25-18. Maroons looking for the sweep. It would be their 9th of the season. They've won 2 4-setters and 1 in 5 sets. They're 1-2 in 5-set matches. For Lynchburg, they've been swept 5 times. If they want to rally all the way back, it would be their first 5-set win of the season. Pardon me. It was, lost to Bluefield in 5 way back on January 31st. But could the reverse sweep be in play? We'll see. Roanoke, we talked about their .500 attack percentage in the first set. Didn't drop much in set 2. Swung it at .409, 12 terminations, 3 errors, 22 total attacks. Roanoke picked up 2 aces in the set, 3 total blocks. And it should be 5 in the match now for Roanoke in the blocking department. Again, the team concept very much in play. Rutkowski and Falcone share the team high with 6 kills apiece. Wheaton 3, Mendoza 3, Cummins 3, Kinney 3. Wow. Balanced from Roanoke. Setter play has been great from Johnny Moran and Tegan Cole. Lynchburg, hitting percentage went down to .111 in set number 2. It was a pretty good .269 in set 1. 10 kills, 7 errors in set 2 for Lynchburg. They did pick up an ace and a block point in there. Nick Redding leads all scorers with 9 kills. 20 assists for Will Rady. Jordan Philomaui has picked up an assist. He's got 2 kills, a dig, a couple blocks. His box score is looking pretty healthy. Bryce Jackson, just 2 terminations today. Again, if you could find a way to get Bryce a little bit more involved, because of the rotations, because Roanoke has had some dominant runs, Lynchburg actually hasn't been able to get Bryce Jackson in the front row quite as much as they would want. I think the coaches will call those sticky rotations. When you get stuck, you can't side out, you can't get one of your premier point scorer middles in Bryce Jackson. You can't get him back to the front row as quick as you would like. You'd love to win every point, but again, that's not realistic. But you hope to side out. You hope to keep Roanoke from long runs. That's kind of the idea anyway. So when you don't get Bryce Jackson in there, he's not going to get as many kills. He does have 5 attempts. And Bryce Jackson has factored into the blocking game as well. 1-1 ball game to start here. It is set 3. Roanoke looking for the sweep on the road. Couple 4-set affairs last year between the squads. This one was a 3-point first set. Really came down to the very end. Boy, this is turning into a fun little pinball rally. Let's see who can end it for Lynchburg. Yeah, that's a great choice. Nick Redding. Rally ender, match winner. Termination number 10 now for Nick Redding. For Nick Redding, double-digit kills in 17 last year. This will be just the 4th time he's gotten 10 or more this season. Still a lot of volleyball to play, of course. He could get back to 17 maybe. Nice little pinball there. Most of that rally for Lynchburg took place 1 foot off the floor. Nice job to shove it home by Colin Mendoza. Yeah, Mendoza, just great feel. Great job understanding what the block gave him right there. And he just shoved it right down the forearms, and it rolled down that side of the mesh on Lynchburg. 2-2, tie ball game again. We said that so much. Did that catch a piece of the line? It did. No, it was a tip. Either way, it's a Lynchburg point. Joshua Davis back to serve, should be. No, it's not Josh Davis. He's in the back row, but it will be Mason Kenna serving again. Got that one wrong. It's Wyatt Nunes. Mishandled there by Jackson Rutkowski. He'd love to have that one back. It's an ace for Lynchburg. Great job to send Nunes in there. Nice little shake-up. First ace of the season for Wyatt. Another guy that played quite a bit last year. Let's get some last season numbers. This one will go into the twine for a serving error. Number 11, Wyatt Nunes. He's another California guy. 6'1" sophomore. 13 matches last year. And last season, I just know he had an ace last year. Yeah, he had 3 of them last year. Didn't think it was going to be a career first ace for Wyatt, but you never know. We still have some guys doing that, and Lynchburg does have some first years on the team that have played and played well. A discussion here from the Lynchburg coaching staff with the official on the floor. The R2 is going to check with our official scorers at the table and see if we've got everything sorted. Don't know if that was a question about rotation, or I think the score's right. Don't think it could be that. 4-3 Lynchburg right now. Mason Kenna stymied again by a stingy Roanoke block. Maroons have been blocking well. Tegan Cole to serve. Berardo kind of on the back foot, but handled it. This one is well wide from Nick Redding. Roanoke 5-1 in ODAC play. Randolph-Macon 5-0. EMU is 4-1 in conference, and that's the matchup for Saturday with Roanoke. Does not look like they have overlooked Lynchburg in preparation for the Royals. That was pretty massive. That was firm. That had some sizzle. Knocked Tegan Cole backwards a little bit. He was on his wallet there, and the rest of the team came to help him back up. Here's one of these talented first years in the mix right now. Troy Trujillo. Roanoke's going to get the point. Troy's brother Peyton is one of the assistant coaches for the men's and women's teams. Troy is a first-year man from Chester, Virginia. 6-5, Maroons by 1. Lynchburg took the early lead in the set. Long run for Rady, he got to it. Trujillo's going to push it over. Lynchburg trying to get organized and defend. Not going to happen right there, as Josh Davis couldn't excavate that one up in time. Maroons by 2. Jackson Rutkowski on the service line. Came in with 9 aces. He's second in the conference in total points. This one handled by Davis. Rady going to go for the middle with Bryce Jackson. He got it down, painted a corner over there. Long arm swing. Jackson had to adjust that. It wasn't quite there in the hitting pocket where he wanted it. That's where the long frame really helped. You can see him get that arm all the way around, roundhouse kind of hook shot, kind of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar style with the long arm. Too much mustard on this. We'll give the ball right back to Roanoke, and it's an 8-6 ball game. Crowd and benches coming alive a little bit, the crowd that we have. Jackson got Roof, came in his lap, and he kept it alive. Can't keep that one alive. Nice swipe up front by Colin Mendoza. He does well again to tool the block. Really understands what the defense is giving him, and that's all split-second decision making. Some of it based on the set you receive, obviously, but he's great with those little adjustments. Good hands up front, good feet. Jumps well, frame helps. That's a big banger from Bryce Jackson. Yeah, let's see if Bryce can really get cooking. Bryce Jackson on the season, he has the top hitting percentage in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference, swinging it at .432 coming into the ball game. Double-digit kills in 4. As a middle, he is often not option number 1, but he's pretty close to it. Bryce Jackson off now as he sends that serve into the barrier. Bryce Jackson's high in kills is 15 this season. Probably going to need 5 sets to get something like that. Bryce Jackson has 4 right now. Nick Redding still pacing Lynchburg with 10 terminations. Roanoke continues to be steady. Falcone with 6. We haven't even called his name in a while. Fantastic location on a blitz ball by number 10, Eli Looney. There's a new name, new location, Fort Worth, Texas. And speaking of location, he found the real estate over there right in front of Coach Knapp and on the court. 11-7, feels like the Maroons are taking control again. Nothing decided just yet, though. Lynchburg's going to continue to play hard. They've shown that. Looney getting a lot of touches here. Don't think he played in the first 2 sets, but he is active and activated right now. Nice dig there by Mason Kenna. Joshua Davis off the block and down. Fantastic effort by C.J. Kingston. Did you see him go flying in there in the white libero jersey? That's fun to watch. He gave it all. Nice shot from Joshua Davis. Davis up to 10. He's in double digits, double figures. Davis as high as 16. He hit 444 in the win against Randolph. Oh, look at Berardo on his bicycle and then over his head. And then a block up front. Total team point right there for Lynchburg. That's one you can hang your hat on. That's one you can show in the film study and say, this is what we're capable of when we all get after it, when we all work together. Steph Kapitanov on the block. Wow. Put his hard hat on, went to work building the roof. What about the effort from Berardo? Sprinting backwards and just slapping it blindly over his head like he had some eyes in the back of his skull or something. Nice job by Johnny Moran to adjust to that short serve. And then this one is just mashed. Great job by the Maroons to not let Lynchburg keep any of that momentum. That last play was a momentum piece, a potential builder for Lynchburg. But when the Maroons score right away, they just kind of snatch it right back. Rutkowski got sent back. Access denied. Lynchburg blocking starting to come alive here in set 3. Don't know if it's minor adjustments, maybe just circumstances. Lynchburg's within 2, by the way. And momentum, very real. I've been guilty of overusing the word momentum. Ooh, I caught a piece of the body of Rady there. You got that off the right shoulder. I've been guilty of overusing momentum, but if Lynchburg gets a set here, you never know what can happen. What kind of vibrations can start building. All of a sudden, the Maroons could be on the ropes. Right now, still feels like they're in control. There's a high riser and a high flyer for Lynchburg. Joshua Davis from the back row. He's got 11 now. Maybe it's the personnel changes for Joshua Knapp, head coach for Lynchburg. Maybe just enough shuffling of the lineup here. Get some things invigorated. Wyatt Noon's back in to serve. Second time he's taken the ball at the line here for Lynchburg. 13-11, 2-point Roanoke lead. Again, still feels safe for the Maroons. That one's out, though, and now Lynchburg's within 1. I think Roanoke, maybe not with the foot fully on the accelerator, but who knows? I mean, that's probably not giving the guys on court credit. Especially this guy, new man number 10, Eli Looney, has impressed. Oh man, what a save there. Spatula out for Johnny Moran, just a thin slice to keep it off the wood. And then the ball goes into the net for Lynchburg. Again, a chance to take some momentum and tie the game, and they just can't connect the dots. Mason Kenna would love to have that one back. 14-12, Roanoke by 2 again. Feels a lot like the first set, where Roanoke was leading by 1 or 2 for seemingly the duration until the very end. We are in set 3. Roanoke has taken sets 1 and 2. Maroons looking for their 9th sweep of the season. They have been swept once. That was against the conference foe, Randolph-Macon. Hornets back within 1. Peyton Trujillo to serve it. Southpaw. Trujillo's going to get a set in here to the back row. Absolutely cranked by Joshua Davis. And we are tied. First tie of set 3. First time we have been tied since the opening stanza. Perhaps it is building. Perhaps that that traction for Lynchburg. Maybe it's real. See how long they can keep it. Moran, good set. Trujillo trying to move to his left. Can't keep it off the back wall. Maroons lead again. Timeout on the court. Hey, let's stay right here. We'll run down some numbers and give you those schedules again. Let's start first for Roanoke here in this set. The attack percentage is down to .263. Still feels pretty meaty, but it's the lowest so far tonight. Remember, they swung it at 500 in set 1, 409 in inning number 2. And now in the third, 9 kills on 20 swings. There's 3 errors in there. 1 block for Roanoke here and a 1-point set 3 lead, 15-14. The balance is still there. They've got 3 players with the team high now. Rutkowski 6, Mendoza 6, Falcone 6. Cummins has 5. He hasn't scored in a while. Wheaton has 5. Looney has played in 1 set, and he's got 3 in this third period. Good stuff. Love the balance from Coach Mark Rohrbach. For Lynchburg, Joshua Davis has taken over the team lead with 12. Nick Redding has 10. 7 errors for Nick Redding, though. Definitely 2 sides of the coin. Joshua Davis, his percentages are really good at .417 right now. Will Rady, 28 assists. Mason Kenna has 4 terminations. Bryce Jackson, 4. Lynchburg at .286 as a team on the hitting percentage in set 3. .269 in set 1. So this is really close to that right now. 9 kills on 21 swings. 3 errors for Lynchburg. Good audible out call by Mason Kenna. Sighted that well down the line, knew from his positioning and the flight of the ball that it was not going to stay between the lines. And Lynchburg ties it again. Second tie of set 3. Out call there, and it was the wrong call. That one is in, and Lynchburg leads. No, they called that out? Wow. Boy. Well, we'll leave it at that and move on. Feel free to review at your own time there. You can watch these games on Flo on demand, of course. Live or on demand. We know a lot of folks do watch after the fact, which is great. Maybe my eyes are bad. Got to move on to the next play. I think our officials have done a fantastic job tonight. Davis wanted more, got sent back. Lynchburg's going to keep it alive. Davis that time looking for a touch. Did he get it? One official saying he did. A Lynchburg team pointing at the line judge to the right. They thought maybe she made the signal that there was a touch. Instead, it's Roanoke by 2. And that's how close the margins are. You got to think 2 calls back-to-back that Lynchburg felt maybe could have gone their way, maybe should have gone their way. You don't get them, and instead of being up by 2, you're down by 2. And you lose some of that traction. You start sliding the wrong direction again. Roanoke looking to take control, and they will. On top by 3 now. Maroons restoring some order to set 3, back where they want to be, 18-15. Lynchburg's got work to do now, down 2-0. Hornets have been swept away 5 times this season. Swept in their last matchup. That was over the weekend, Saturday, February 28th against Concordia, Chicago. They also lost to Virginia Wesleyan down in Virginia Beach in 4 sets. Lynchburg's last win was against Randolph last week. They swept the Wildcats. Hornets have only played 1 in this gym so far. The home opener was last week, but now they're going to get, between this one, 2 Friday and 2 Saturday. Lynchburg's going to get 5 in about, what's that, 5 days, I guess. Another timeout on the court. Coach Josh Knapp is going to take it. We'll observe this one, pausing for just a bit. Late stages of set 3. See if the Hornets can come back and stay alive. All right, timeout done. Lynchburg 5 points in arrears. Roanoke 5 away from their finish line. Good start out of the timeout. Joshua Davis just taking another slam, heavy-handed from the near left pin. Davis is up to 13 now. Mentioned his high might be in sight here, even in just 3 sets. 16's the high. 11 against Randolph in that last Lynchburg win. Lynchburg blocking, coming alive. This stayed on frame. Yeah, it did. All right, fantastic after timeout result for Coach Joshua Knapp. It's one that's tracked a little bit more in sports. Basketball coaches, they really pride themselves on the ATO, the after timeout plays, and do you have success or not? Lynchburg is, and here comes Roanoke again. Kind of the same story, restoring order to things from their perspective. Cade Kinney, senior from Roanoke, hadn't called his name much since the first set, but he will pick up kill number 4 for Cade Kinney. No errors for Cade Kinney as well. Looks like 4 kills on 6 attacks. Talk about efficiency. Set not on target. Lynchburg would love to have that one back, and now it's 22-17. Roanoke can really feel it now. Johnny Moran, the first-year setter from Enville, Pennsylvania, would like to just put this to bed, not even give the ball back. Joshua Davis says not just yet. Lynchburg will stay in the fight and get to serve a little bit more themselves. 22-18, Lynchburg down by 4. Will Rady at the line. Rady's impressed me. Again, a lot of competition in the setter room. Another guy that transferred in with Josh Knapp was playing club volleyball at Liberty, he and Joshua Davis. Definitely a connection there, but you know, you look at the way Rady divides up the sets and how he deals the cards. He doesn't seem to favor Davis any more than he should. I mean, Davis is talented. He needs to be set, but it doesn't seem to be one-sided. Braden Berardo took evasive action there. He thought that ball was out, and then he put the hand up with the "my bad" gesture, realizing after the fact that was a mistake. He's human, like we all are. 23-19, Berardo, good play there to slide to his right. Davis had to take a funny route, but got decent wood on it. From the back row, Roanoke, good swing. Lynchburg in transition, down the line, in, out. In, it's a call from the line judge. Fantastic placement, Lynchburg's within 3. Joshua Davis to serve it. Hornets have 4 aces as a team in the ball game. Overdig, play on though. It's take 2 on this near left side for Eli Looney. He went with the fastball on his first shot. That time, he decided to change it up. Looney kind of going to his lower back there. Sorry, that's Colin Mendoza with the ball on the service line now. It was Looney with the shot. Here we go. Set and match point. Mendoza pops it over. See if Lynchburg can stay alive. They will temporarily. This one ends up in row 3 or 4. 24-23, Lynchburg down by 3. Sub coming in the ball game. And back to serve, Wyatt Nunes again. Did have an ace earlier, one of 4 Lynchburg aces in the match. Set and match point again for Roanoke. Rutkowski trying to end it. Roofed. Bryce Jackson, Peyton Trujillo. Troy, rather. Peyton is the brother on the coaching staff. Tag team stop. Good tandem work over there to bracket Rutkowski. Lynchburg's within 2. Roanoke's within 1 of a win. Feels closer, though, doesn't it? Another block for Lynchburg. Here we go. Mason Kenna and Bryce Jackson. Tall wall, castling up. With Bryce Jackson moving pin to pin to shut down the Roanoke offense. And now it's a Maroon timeout. Let's keep it right here, because this got intriguing. And this is back to what's so fun about this sport. Coach Mark Rohrback realizes some of the gravity of this situation, and he knows you don't want to give Lynchburg momentum. Don't let Lynchburg take this thing into a set 4, and all of a sudden the wheels can start to fall off, and the Hornets can get a bit of a steamroll going on. Now, I think if you ask Coach Rohrback, he would tell you, hey, I'll back my team to win in 4 sets or win in 5 sets. I feel confident there. But again, taking the timeout when you're up 2 sets to none, and you do have still set and match point, it tells you, I think, how Coach Rohrback feels about this next moment in the ball game. This timeout will also serve to ice the Lynchburg server just a little bit as well. That's one big benefit to taking the timeout right here. When you got Wyatt Nunes, who's delivered a couple pretty good serves, not exactly big bombs or anything, but he's been on target with the serves. Now you make him wait a little bit. Now you make him start to think a bit, and maybe that thinking can just be too much. So if you're Coach Knapp, do you encourage Nunes here to back off and maybe go with the B-plus serve, just getting in play, and let's try to get organized and play defense? Or maybe you tell Wyatt Nunes to let it rip. It was softer, middle of the court. He made sure to get it in. He did, and Roanoke took full advantage. A situation you get a lot at the end of sets. This time we got it at the end of the match. Fantastic timeout there for Mark Rohrback. His team will complete the sweep. 2 close sets here, 25-23 in set number 3. It was 25-22 Roanoke in set 1. Maroons a little bit more comfortable in the second frame, 25-18. Congratulations to Coach Rohrback on his 50th win at Roanoke. The numbers for the Maroons still very good. Hit 370 as a team throughout the match. 2 aces, 5 blocks. It was Wheaton that led the way. Dominic Wheaton, number 12, and he had the match ender there. Cummins had 7 as well. I beg your pardon. Michael Cummins and Dominic Wheaton both with 7 kills. Mendoza, Falcone, and Rutkowski all with 6. Again, speaks to the total balance that Roanoke had tonight. For Lynchburg, they hit it 226 as a team, 4 aces, 7 blocks, including some big ones there at the very end. I think that's something Lynchburg will take some confidence from. Joshua Davis, 15 terminations on a 387 hitting percentage. Good stuff there from Davis. Nick Redding had 10 kills. Mason Kenna, 5. Big thank you to our LHSN Flo College crew. We're going to rerun it on Friday for a doubleheader. Lynchburg will host Shenandoah. So nice, we're going to play the game twice. They're going to make up one that we missed because of the snow earlier in the season. So match 1, first serve at 5 p.m. on Friday night. I hope you can join us inside Turner or on the broadcast. And so, between 6 and 10 sets of volleyball on Friday. And then for Lynchburg on Saturday, they'll get between 6 and 10 sets of volleyball. We're going to play a lot in this gym here Friday and Saturday. Hope you can be a part of it. Best of luck to the Maroons going forward. They get a big one on the road at EMU in Harrisonburg this Saturday. These teams will meet again on Saturday, March the 28th. Lynchburg will head to Roanoke. We'll say so long tonight. Roanoke, straight set winner. They take down Lynchburg, and the Maroons move to a very good 12-4 on the season. 6-1 in ODAC play. Lynchburg now 4-8, 2-3 in conference, and the home record stands at 1-1 for Lynchburg. Kyle Haney saying have a great Wednesday night. We'll talk to you again Friday, volleyball lovers.